Hello, dear children. This video covers the third chapter of Economics, Class 9, Poverty as a Challenge. In our daily life, we come across many people who we think are poor. They could be landless laborers in villages or people living in crowded areas in the cities. They could be daily wage workers at a construction site or child workers in dhabas. They could also be beggars. We see poverty all around us. In fact, every fourth person in India is poor. This means roughly 270 million people in India live in poverty. This also means that India has the largest single concentration of poor in the world. This illustrates the seriousness of the challenge. Now, children, let us try to understand the challenge of poverty with the means of two typical cases of poverty. Number one, urban case. 30-year-old Ram Saran works as a daily wage laborer. He earns around 1500 a month when he finds employment. The money is not enough to sustain his family of 6, that includes his wife and 4 children, aged between 6 months to 12 years. He has to send money home to his old parents. Ramsaran lives in one room rented house in a crowded basti in the outskirts of the city. His wife Santa Devi works as a part-time maid in a few houses and manages to earn another 800. To supplement the family income, the elder son is sent to a tea shop to work, while his 10 years old daughter takes care of the other siblings. None of the children go to school. They have only 2 pairs of hand-me-down clothes each. New ones are brought only when the old clothes become unbearable. Shoes are a luxury. The younger kids are undernourished and they have no access to health care when they fall ill. Let us take up the rural case. Lakha Singh belongs to a small village near Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. He works as a landless laborer. At times, he gets paid rupees 50 for a hard day's work, but often it is in kind, like a few kilograms of wheat or dal. The family of 8 cannot always manage 2 square meals a day. Lakha lives in a kacha hut on the outskirts of the village. The women of the family spend day chopping fodder and collecting firewood in the fields. His father, a TB patient, passed away 2 years ago due to lack of medication. His mother now suffers from the same disease and life is slowly ebbing away. Although the village has a primary school, Lakha never went there. He had to start earning when he was 10 years old. New clothes happen once in a few years. Even soap and oil are a luxury for the family. Let us try to analyze what do these two typical cases illustrate. These two typical cases, dear children, illustrate many dimensions of poverty. They show that poverty means hunger and lack of shelter. It also is a situation in which parents are not able to send their children to school, or a situation where sick people cannot afford treatment. Poverty also means lack of clean water and sanitation. It also means lack of regular job at a minimum decent level, and above all, it means living with a sense of helplessness. Poor people are in a situation in which they are treated at almost every place, in farms, factories, government offices, hospitals, railway stations. Obviously, nobody would like to live in poverty. Now, children, let us take up the next topic, how poverty is seen by social scientists. Since poverty has many facets, social scientists look at it through a variety of indicators. Usually, the indicators used to relate the levels of income and consumption, but now poverty is looked through other social indicators like illiteracy, lack of general resistance to malnutrition, lack of access to healthcare, lack of job opportunities, lack of access to safe drinking water, sanitation, etc. Analysis of poverty based on social exclusion and vulnerability is now becoming very common. Let us try to understand what do you mean by social exclusion. According to this concept, poverty must be seen in terms of the poor having to live only in a poor surroundings with other poor people, excluded from enjoying social equality of better off people in better surroundings. Social exclusion can be both a cause as well as a consequences of poverty in the usual sense. Children, broadly, it is a process through which individuals or groups are excluded from facilities, benefits, and opportunities that others enjoy. A typical example is the working of the caste system in India. in which people belonging to the certain caste are excluded from equal opportunities. Social exclusion thus may lead to but can cause more damage than having a very low income. Next is the second indicator, vulnerability. Vulnerability to poverty is a measure which describes the greater probability of certain communities, say members of the backward caste, individuals such as widows or physically handicapped person, of becoming or remaining poor in the coming years. Further, it is analyzed on the basis of greater risk these groups face at the time of natural disasters like earthquakes, tsunami, terrorism, and additional is made of their social and economic ability to handle these risks. In fact, vulnerability describes the greater probability of being more adversely affected than the other people when bad times come for everybody, whether a flood or an earthquake or simply a fall in the availability of jobs. At the center of the discussion on poverty is usually the concept of poverty line. A common method used to measure poverty is based on income or consumption levels. A person is considered poor if his or her income or consumption levels fall below a given minimum level necessary to fulfill basic needs. Poverty line may vary with time and place. Each country uses an imaginary line that is considered appropriate for its existing level of development and its accepted minimum social norms. For example, a person not having a car in United States may be considered poor. In India, owning of a car is still considered a luxury. While determining the poverty line in India, a minimum level of food requirement, clothing, footwear, fuel, light, education, and medical requirements are determined for subsistence. These physical quantities are multiplied by their prices in rupees. Present formula for food requirement while estimating the poverty line is based on the desired calorie requirement. Food items such as cereal, pulses, vegetables together provide these needed calories. Children, please take note that the accepted average calorie requirement in India is 2400 calories per person per day in rural areas and 2100 calories per person per day in urban areas. Since people living in rural areas engage themselves in more physical work, calorie requirement in rural areas are considered to be higher than urban areas. The monetary expenditure per capita needed for buying these calorie requirement in terms of food, grains, etc. is revised periodically, taking into consideration the rise in prices. On the basis of these calculations, for the year 2011-12, the poverty line for a person was fixed at rupees 816 per month for the rural areas and rupees 1000 for the urban areas. Despite less calorie requirement, the higher amount for urban areas has been fixed because of high prices of many essential products in urban centers. The poverty line is estimated periodically, normally every 5 years, by conducting sample surveys. These surveys are carried out by the National Sample Survey Organization (NSSO). However, for making comparison between developing countries, many international organizations like World Bank use a uniform standard for the poverty line estimates throughout the world. Now next, let us discuss the causes of poverty. One historical reason is the low level of economic development under the British colonial administration. The policies of colonial government ruined traditional handicraft and discouraged development of industries. This was accompanied by a high growth rate of population. The two combined to make the growth rate of per capita income very low. Then next one is that the industries both in the public and private sector did provide some job, but these were not enough to absorb all the job seekers. Unable to find proper job in cities, many people started working as rickshaw pullers, vendors, construction workers, domestic servants, etc. Then next is with irregular small incomes, these people could not afford expensive housings and they started living in slums on the outskirts of the cities. Another feature of high poverty rate has been the huge income inequalities. Then many other socio-cultural and economic factors are also responsible for poverty in our country. In order to fulfill social obligation and observe religious ceremonies, people in India, including the very poor, spend a lot of money. Small farmers need money to buy agricultural inputs like seeds, fertilizers, etc. They borrow and unable to pay because of poverty, they become victims of indebtedness. So the high level of indebtedness is both the cause and effect of poverty in our country. Even High income inequalities is one of the main factor of poverty in our country. With this, we end the video. Thank you and God bless, dear children.